Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. I thought today I would offer a spinal roll to start. You're welcome to start however you would like, but this one was kind of calling me today. So if you have a yoga blanket, um, we're gonna look to create a long roll that would fit from under our whole spine, including the head. So you would want it folded twice. What do we call that? Hamburger style. We're always folding the long side shorter, so you want it folded twice. But if you you can easily use a towel or some other blanket. We just want to create, or maybe you have a bolster, which is a yoga pillow thingy, a long roll. So we're gonna take this towel or blanket and roll it up. So we have a roll that kind of looks like that, yeah? And then we're gonna put that at the head of the mat. And then we can sit onto the roll, or we can sit on the ground, and that adds a little back bend here, so kind of depending on what you wanna do. I'm gonna sit onto it, just right on that edge, and then using my hands to help me lay all the way down. And then from here, I always like to reach my hands up towards the sky and then kind of walking one hand up with an inhale, exhale, release, reaching the other hand up on an inhale, exhale, release, to help that back widen out and kind of spread out over that roll. We can take the blanket or towel and kind of scrunch it up under the neck for a little cervical spine support there. And then the arms just wherever you like them, maybe out in a T, palms facing up, preferably for that internal rotation of the shoulders. Or they can be up overhead, maybe even interlocking the fingers, or down at your sides, very restful. Legs, same thing, wherever you like them, maybe bent, knees falling in, maybe more of a butterfly with the soles of the feet coming together, or they can be out straight, wherever you would like your legs. And we'll just take a few moments here to notice how we have arrived at our practice today. Maybe we're taking that check-in with the physical body, finding that yummy place that we want to be for our arrival. Making any adjustments there, checking in with the thoughts, what's weighing on the mind today, offering some space, some love and compassion, treating yourself as you would someone you love, because we do love ourselves, or, as a good friend, someone you care deeply about, turning that towards yourself, offering that same self-love. And maybe we're checking in with our emotions. Maybe we're able to label how we feel right now, either tired or happy or sad, or however we're feeling. Maybe we label it, maybe not. That's normal too. When we're like, I don't know how I feel right now. No problem. Just checking in, getting curious, practicing that mindfulness of noticing and releasing judgment. So we can be offering ourselves some space by just tuning into that physical body and noticing points that make contact with the floor. Just maybe staying with that presence of the body. Maybe it feels good to focus on the breath instead of the body, and just noticing the way that air comes into the body, maybe feeling some expansion with the inhale, or maybe some lightness. And then on that exhale, maybe we're noticing some heaviness or a condensing, a coming back towards home. Allowing whatever wants to be. And if we haven't already, maybe we're lengthening that breath, taking a bigger, fuller inhale. On the exhale, releasing every last whisper of air. Inviting our bodies and minds to let go with that exhale. Releasing what no longer supports us. We don't need to know what it is. Just inviting that intention. Or maybe you have another intention that you want to focus on for this practice. Maybe tuning in there. When you're ready to transition, if the legs are out in butterfly, you might use the hands to help bring them together. At some point, rolling over onto one side. And just curling up for a moment in fetal position. Bringing the head towards the heart. And when you're ready, slowly coming up, maybe using those arms to help support you as you slowly come up, that head being the very last thing to come up. And we might just slide that roll behind us. I like to sit or tuck a roll or folded blanket under me for when I come to a seated position, which is where we're coming now. So sitting on the floor, sitting on the chair, finding somewhere that's comfortable for you to sit. And we'll just start by warming up the neck. I'm going to ding the bell to help us find this new position, taking our seat, finding a nice tall spine. Feel free to just listen, eyes open or closed. And on your next inhale, finding length in the spine, reaching out through the crown of the head and lengthening down through the tailbone at the same time. On the exhale, releasing the chin towards the chest, stretching out the back of the neck and the upper back, just letting that head hang forward. On our next inhale, we're going to roll up through center. Exhaling, looking over that left shoulder. And if it feels good, you can drop the chin down towards the shoulder or not. Relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. On your next inhale, rolling up, exhaling through center, bringing that gaze or turning the head in the opposite direction. And if it felt good on the first side, dropping that chin down towards the shoulder, keeping that back nice and tall, while at the same time releasing those hips, that tailbone down into the earth. Noticing that balance in the front body, that upward current of energy down the back body, finding that balance. And on your next inhale, coming up, exhaling back to center. That's my cat, Lily. And then from here, we'll move to cat and cow. So you're welcome to do this seated or on hands and knees, whatever feels best for you. Same movements either way. Exhaling, rounding into cat. Inhaling, arching into cow. If we're on hands and knees, we're going to check that those wrists are right under the shoulders and knees right under the hips. So maybe take a look on the side there, notice where you're at. Nice flat back. So notice if you're kind of letting your belly hang there. We're going to tuck that navel towards the spine. Nice, strong, straight back. Inhaling, lengthening that spine. On the exhale, curling the tailbone under, tilting the pelvis back, rounding into cat. Tucking the chin towards the chest. Feeling free to wiggle and move as much as you like. When your inhale comes, lifting the tailbone up towards the sky, tilting the pelvis forward, arching into cow. Following your own breath, exhaling, rounding into cat. Inhaling, arching into cow. One more each direction, opening that pelvic body, warming up the spine. And when you feel complete, coming back to center. From here, we're going to come into downward facing dog. If you like, if you want to skip down dog and come to stand in mountain, standing up tall, you're welcome to do that. If we're doing down dog, tucking the toes, inviting the sits bones to lead the way, hugging that chest toward the thighs, reaching those sits bones up, finding our down dog. Warming up the backs of the legs, pressing one heel down and then the other towards the earth, kind of walking those heels. Eventually finding stillness and taking several deep, slow breaths there. A lot of options for down dog if being on the floor doesn't work or doesn't feel good for whatever reason. We can always use the back of a chair, placing the hands on the back of a chair or on the wall or a table. Finding big, full breaths. Bringing that weight out of the wrists and into the fingertips, the padding of the hands, the webbing. And on your next inhale, we're going to look forward, bend into the legs, walk or jump the feet forward to come into forward fold. Knees are bent as much as you like. Always the option to use a chair to place the hands or a block for support if that feels better. Inviting the whole upper body to just hang over the hips. Arms can just hang, or you can interlace the arms, gently shaking the head no and nodding yes. Nice big slow full breath here. And then finding a breath that supports you or following along with me. Nice big inhale. On the exhale, slowly rolling up, noticing each vertebra as you come up. The head is the very last thing to come up. The chin stays tucked until the very end, finding mountain as we go. The weight in the feet is balanced front to back, side to side. Knees are soft. Big heavy tail pulling us down with that tailbone. Navel hugging spine, heart lifting up towards the sky. Shoulders relax down away from the ears, lengthening through the back of the head and neck, chin tucked slightly. And on your next inhale, we're going to reach those arms wide, bringing your palms up to whatever degree works for you. Bringing the palms together and then down to the heart on an exhale. On your next inhale, lifting the hands. Exhaling, diving forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Nice big full breath here. And when you're ready, slowly rolling up. Finding your mountain as you go. Tadasana, mountain pose. On your next inhale, sweeping the arms wide. We're going to do that 2 more times. Exhaling, palms to heart. Following your breath, following your flow, finding your mountain, grounded, stable, tall, majestic. Inhaling, lifting those palms. Maybe looking up for a little back bend if that feels good. Exhaling, diving forward, forward fold. Big full breath. Slowly rolling up when you're ready. Last one. Finding mountain. Inhaling, sweeping the arms wide. Exhaling, palms to heart. Inhaling, lifting the palms. Exhaling, forward fold, Uttanasana. And rolling up when you're ready. Finding mountain. From here, we're going to come into eagle. So, using what works for you, everybody is different. We'll start with balancing on that right foot. Maybe both feet stay on the ground, and we're just going to work with arms today. Finding your practice. If we want to play with some balancing on one foot, we begin to lift up that left heel, coming up onto the ball of the foot. If all that feels good, we take it a step further, lifting up onto the toes. Maybe those toes come off the ground, maybe not. If it's all as well, crossing that left foot over the right, we might stay here. We might come into full eagle legs, sitting the hips back, crossing that foot all the way around the leg, wrapping it around. Arms come out wide, checking in that knee stays over the foot, back towards the ankle. Arms come out wide, nice big inhale, reaching out through those arms. And then crossing the opposite arm of the leg that's on top. So that would be our right arm goes on top, crossing wherever it feels best for you. Some of us might cross near the wrists or at the elbows. If we are staying here, no problem. Hands just come to touch however they can or come close to each other. If we can cross above the elbows, we're going to fold that bottom arm up, palm facing away. Top arm rotates, palm facing up. And then we fold up. Maybe the hands come close, maybe not. Maybe we come into full eagle arms. Lifting the elbows up so that the tops of the arms are parallel to the floor. Sitting back, navel hugging spine, finding the breath, finding your focus. Eagles are very focused. Finding your breath. Keeping it nice and full. Releasing every last whisper of air on that exhale. Maybe one more breath here. When you're ready to release, we'll stretch those arms out wide. Uncrossing the legs, shaking out that standing leg or stretching in whatever way feels good for you. A little hip stretch there. And then we'll come to do that second side. So preparing, finding mountain, grounding in. And beginning to check in with that left side, so kind of encouraging that foot to widen out on the mat, lifting the heel of that right foot, maybe coming up under the toes, maybe crossing over. Find what works for you today, right? Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. Finding your arms, crossing left over right at whatever position works for you. Maybe folding that bottom arm up, palm facing away, top arm rotates, palm facing up, and fold it up to meet wherever they meet. Doesn't have to look like me. Lifting those elbows up away from the floor so tops of the arms come parallel. Finding your breath, finding your focus. that inhale in, big and full, nourishing the body, nourishing the mind. Releasing the exhale slowly. And when you're ready, releasing. Stretching the arms out wide. Releasing that standing leg, maybe shaking it out. And then from here, we're going to come through downward facing dog, chaturanga, if you'd like to follow along. If you want to just come to meet us on our bellies, you're welcome to do that. Finding mountain, inhaling, sweeping the arms wide. Exhaling, palms to heart. When your inhale comes, lifting the palms. Exhaling, forward fold. We'll add a little back bend here. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, releasing back down to the floor, planting the hands, stepping the feet back, downward facing dog. Couple big, full, slow breaths here. On an inhale, coming forward into plank, up onto the balls of the feet, rounding through those shoulders. Top of a push-up, lowering the knees if that feels more supportive. Wherever you're at, finding your breath, finding your inner strength, inner power, focusing there. Navel hugging spine. One more big full breath. Inviting that weight out of the wrists into the fingertips. Patting of the hands. Nice big inhale. On the exhale, slowly lowering knees, chest, and chin, or a full chaturanga if you know it. Coming all the way down onto the belly, untucking the toes, inviting the breath to lead the way. So finding that inhale, elbows hug tight to the body, growing up into cobra or back bend. Exhale, release. From here, we're going to press up and back into a child's pose. Again, inviting that inhale to lead the way, sitting those sits bones back towards the feet, finding a variation of child's that works for you today. Big, full, slow breaths. On your next inhale, slowly rolling up or folding up, whatever works best for you. Coming all the way up. We'll come forward into table. We're going to come into thread the needle, so lots of variations. Bear with me as I demonstrate. So we're going to come onto hands and knees for one variation. And you're going to inhale, sweep that left arm straight out. On the exhale, threading it under the right arm, coming all the way down onto the shoulder, the side of the face. The cheek rests on the floor, cheek and ear. That right hand is there for support. Press, either pressing into the floor, deepening the twist, or just there to help hold you. Some people like to stretch that arm, that right arm up overhead. Take whichever variation works best for you. If this feels good, stay where you're at, finding deep, slow breaths. If that is too much, or you know it's too much, the variation is to sit comfortably, inhale, sweep the arms wide, cross that left arm across the body, gently across the chest, gently holding with that right hand, wherever, whatever degree feels good today. Finding deep, slow breathing wherever you are. And about one more breath here. To come out of thread the needle, if we're on hands and knees, we inhale, sweep that left arm back out from under the right, come all the way out to the side, counter stretch, and bringing that left hand back down to the floor. Switching sides, so preparing for whichever variation felt good on that first side. Inhaling, sweeping that right arm out to the side, exhaling, threading it under the right or crossing across the body. If you're taking that variation, finding support, finding your shape that works for you. Big, full, slow breaths. Inviting that breath to stay high up in the chest, spreading out wide around the heart, out into those shoulders. Creating space on the inhale. Inviting release and relaxation on the exhale. When you're ready to come out, when you feel balanced, we're going to inhale, sweep that right arm back out from under the left and opening all the way. Counter stretch, coming back into table. And then from here, we're going to find a comfortable seated position. Preparing for full face of cow. So we might be sitting in a chair, and that will be our legs, which is a wonderful place to be. A lot of variations here. I'm going to take my roll here and kind of tuck it just a tiny bit under the sits bones to help it make it easier for me to sit here comfortably. So we'll start on that right side, and again, legs can stay here. They can be crisscross applesauce, however you like them. I'm going to show legs first and then arms for full face of cow if we would like to go for the legs. So crossing that right over the left, this might be enough of a hip stretch here in that right hip. We might stay here. We might bring that foot closer to the opposite hip if that feels okay. Then we keep going and we bend that bottom leg and bring the foot towards the hip. Maybe the knees stack, maybe not. I kind of scooch forward and get the flesh of the buns out there so we're kind of sitting more in our sits bones. Bringing the feet closer to the hips. Like so. Yeah? All sorts of variations, right? Take what one works best for you. Arms. Again, we're going to go for opposite arm up. So we inhale, sweep the arms wide. Exhale, left arm comes up, right arm comes down. Rotate so the back of the hand comes towards the back, and we fold to maybe meet, maybe not. If they don't meet, we can grab a strap and dangle that for that right hand to hold on to. Yeah, or we don't need to use anything, or maybe our fingers meet. We want a nice tall back. So notice if you're all the way up through the crown of the head. Notice if you're kind of leaning your head forward to reach closer. See if you can not do that and have a nice long reach out through the crown of the head. So the head is staying on the spine. Feeling that length in the spine come all the way out through the crown of the head. So there's a little slight tuck in the chin and a reach out through, like you're pushing up through the crown of your head. At the same time, rooting down through the tailbone, finding the breath. Maybe noticing the way the breath is moving your body. Maybe listening to the breath. And I apologize, I didn't offer this sooner. Another variation is to gently hold that left arm with the right hand. About one more breath there. When you're ready, we're going to reach the arms out wide, releasing the arms, releasing the legs gently, maybe shaking them or massaging. And we'll come to that second side. So crossing the left over the right at whatever place works best for you. Yeah, maybe maybe folding that bottom leg as well. Maybe not. Pretty extreme stretch in the hips, so being gentle and kind, meeting yourself where you are. Yeah. And then going for the arms, inhaling, stretching the arms out wide. Exhaling, bringing that right arm up, left arm comes back, and noticing how this side is different from the first side, using support if you would like. My hands don't reach, but I'm not going to grab the strap. I'd rather just kind of stay where I'm at, feeling the space, feeling the closeness, feeling the breath. Last breath. You know, finding your balance when you're ready, releasing. Releasing the legs. And then we'll come all the way down onto our backs. Preparing for a twist, if you would like. So at first just coming onto the back, inviting the body to settle in this new position. And then we'll pick the hips up and shift them to the right just a hair, like not even an inch, like a half an inch. And then pick the legs up. And we're going to let the knees fall to the left. Stretching the arms out into a T, palms facing up. And the head can be wherever you like. It can be facing the same direction as the knees. We can gently pick the head up and rotate it in the opposite direction of the knees. We might want to lift up that left shoulder, so pressing into the left elbow and the back of the head to lift that left shoulder and slide it out from under us, so you get a little more flat onto those shoulder blades. Might need to hold that top knee or adjust in whatever way you need to find your twist, and then finding the breath. This time we might move the breath down into that solar plexus area around the navel, inviting the breath deeper into the belly, into that navel region, expanding out wide. With that inhale, on the exhale, maybe feeling a sense of relief or release coming back towards home. About one more breath there. When you're ready, we'll bring those knees back towards center, bringing the feet down to the floor, adjusting, getting yourself back in alignment. And then we'll go for that second side. So picking the hips up, shifting them about ½ inch to the left, picking the knees up, letting the knees fall over to the right. Maybe they come down to the floor, maybe not. You can put a pillow or fold a blanket underneath them. Picking that right shoulder up and scooching it out to the right. Spreading the arms out wide, palms facing up. Bringing the gaze to wherever you would like it. Again, inviting that breath deeper this time, maybe around the navel area, feeling that expansion on the inhale. Maybe a sense of heaviness or letting go on the exhale. ready, when you feel balanced, coming back to center. From here, we're going to move into Shavasana, our last shape. So finding comfort, maybe getting a blanket for warmth. You can lay on your back, your belly, your side, however you want to be in your Shavasana. Just inviting the whole body to rest, to let go, to do nothing, to just be. Gently beginning to wake the body, stretching in whatever way feels good. Maybe you want to stay resting for longer. You're welcome to do that. I'll end us with a loving kindness practice. May all beings everywhere be safe, be healthy, be happy, and be free. Namaste.